Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex, and I have some news updates from around the land of smiles for you today, this Wednesday, September 25th. Now, today we'll be talking about new ETA visa rules for visitors to Thailand, some tragic animal attacks, and a bit later, some international tales of murder and intrigue. But first, we're spinning the roulette wheel of which pharangs need to be named and shamed, and today it's landing on Belgian. A drunken Belgian man causes chaos at a Thai police station. He defecates and then dances in his underwear. Classic. A 23-year-old Belgian man, Van Mullen-Wout, caused chaos at the Pakret police station on September 24th after being detained for running on a Bangkok expressway. Under the influence of alcohol, Wout defecated on the station floor, stripped to his underwear, and mocked officers by dancing. Who's mocking who? After collapsing from exhaustion, he was apprehended again near a local school and placed in a holding cell. Immigration authorities were contacted to handle the case. Partying a little too hard, I imagine. This guy absolutely, especially coming near a school, stripping naked and doing all this crazy stuff. I imagine he will not be welcome back in the land of smiles for a very, very long time. 23 years old, he's young, dumb, having a little too much fun. And in this case, I'm sure he's waking up with a hangover and a whole lot of regrets. What's your take on this, guys? I don't know. People come to the land of smiles for, some parties, sometimes a little bit of fun, but can often go overboard, as is the case here. Ew. All right. Sing in my car says, I bet that Phanong's favorite movie is Free Willy. Yeah, gross. Something about, Rick and Morty jokes there. Oh, yeah, get swifty. What do you do on the floor? You do what this guy did on the floor. Elliot says, crazy drunkard. Wu-Tang Life says, ban for life. Yeah, we don't want that. I don't want anybody doing that anywhere near me. So I am okay with whatever justice is meted out for him. But not a fun story, and definitely not going to be fun for him as he goes through this process with immigration and the police. All right, well, now we have some tragic stories, guys, heading into the next ones. A little less laughs. As a pit bull, there's always a lot of talk about this breed and the controversy around pit bull attacks, and unfortunately we have one such case here. As a pit bull fatally mauls a 67-year-old woman in Pathum Thani. So that's right, in Pathum Thani, the 67-year-old woman, Dang Tamtancha, was fatally attacked by a pit bull named Poke while cycling near her home. Despite efforts by emergency responders, she died at the scene due to severe bite wounds. Poke had a history of aggression, previously biting family members and others in the neighborhood. The dog's owner, Mrs. Kyatna Cook, admitted she no longer could manage the animal and wanted to surrender it to an animal protection group. Authorities are investigating the incident. So, yes, this is certainly one of those, tragic stories. Dogs, we always like to think of them as man's best friend. Unfortunately, it does seem to be a disproportionate amount of cases where an attack is committed by this particular breed of pit bulls. And even in this case, the owner had already understood, hey, I cannot handle this dog. Somehow it escaped. Dogs also go crazy on bicycles for some reason, and then this poor woman has unfortunately lost her life. So please do let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do we do in these kinds of situations? Obviously, in this case, the dog will be put down, but the breed itself, the center of controversy, and humans have done all sorts of crazy breeding to dogs. Like, you just look at the skull of a pug or the breathing issues of bulldogs, and you've got to wonder what kind of hubris we've had in playing dog. Playing God when we're mixing these breeds. But pit bulls obviously bred for aggression, and unfortunately in this case the aggression led to tragedy. Anyways, yes, Mandalik says, don't know when these dogs should become veggies. But yeah, I've had plenty of friends who have owned pit bulls that have had no issues at all. But unfortunately, I have heard plenty of these kinds of incidents as well. Tough stuff. All right. Anyways, moving on to our next story. We have another bite, actually. Hold on, Elliot says, it's just sad to hear that fatal news on dog bites. It is, man. I don't know. I hate the whole concept, but here, I got to bring it to you. And it's a big problem here in Thailand. We have, like, groups of stray dogs and things like that. This one had an owner, but, yeah, it can happen, man. So be careful around the soy dogs, especially if you're riding a bike, because that tends to set them off for some reason. All right, your dog, your fault, says the Wu-Tang Life. Yeah, I gotta wonder what kind of, she wanted to surrender the dog, didn't happen in time. I don't know what kind of, systems are in place to be able to surrender a dog if you feel like you cannot control it anymore. I actually had a friend, one of my good friends had a dog that kept nipping at people, kept biting people, and they eventually like sent it off into the country, into a place where it had a lot more space and wasn't around people. That had a happy ending, but not in this case, unfortunately. All right, ooh, crack the neck. Shake that one off. Now, we got a weirder story of another animal bite coming on to the next one. Now, a Thai woman is seeking compensation after an alleged snake bite in a Bangkok cinema. Be careful of the movies. A Thai woman, Kumpanapum Poka Im Sin, has seeking justice after claiming she was bitten by a snake in a Bangkok cinema on July 31st. She incurred 25,000 baht in medical expenses, but received only 6,990 baht in compensation, as the cinema insists it was a rat, not a snake, involved. Ew, either way. Despite her hospital stay and tetanus injection, the snake species couldn't be identified, and no antivenom was given. Now, she has turned to the public for support, arguing that the cinema should ensure a safe environment and take full responsibility. I agree. I think, no matter what, right, there was a bite, an animal bite. That is, whether it was snake or rat, whatever the medical expenses are, those should be covered by the institution. I mean, movie theaters, they probably make decent money and they should be able to afford it. And the kind of bad press that this brings is not worth it to not make it right with the victim. I don't know what's worse. What would you rather get bit by, a snake or a rat? Because I feel if you're getting bit by a rat, that's probably like you're in rabies territory, right? You're gonna have to get like those shots. Seems like she's okay. It's been a while. It's been a few months since the incident itself, but the saga continues because the compensation hasn't been brought out. So here's hoping that the theater does the right thing and makes her whole, because I think they're still short about 19,000 baht, which is a big amount of money for any Thai citizen. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell me your thoughts. Is the cinema responsible? And then what would you rather it be, a snake or a rat? Tell me in the comments. Wu-Tang Life asks, is the movie theater in the middle of the jungle? No, it was in Bangkok. I believe on Rama 2. So, terrifying. Would be more likely to be a rat, I would imagine. But there are plenty of snakes in the city, too. So, I don't know. Weird one. And you would hope that they would take the responsibility. Bonobo, talking about the very first story where I was talking about the execution in America, he agrees about abolishing the death penalty. I am inclined to agree, right? Like, even if you get it right 999 times out of 1,000, that one time where the innocent person is taken away from us doesn't seem worth it. And life in prison is a whole big old punishment anyway, so I don't know. I'm inclined to agree with you, Bonobo. Jeffrey says snake. Wayne says, but rat or snake, would not want to get bitten. They should cover her expense. Agreed. Singing My Car also says neither snake or rat. I think I'd rather get the snake. Right? Like, if you can identify the snake, you can get the anti-venom, you're probably going to be fine pretty quickly. The rat, you're going to have to go through that whole rabies regimen, which is, like, first of all, very expensive and very painful. So that's, I just wouldn't want to risk the rabies at all. That is one of the worst ways to go. So, yeah, my 2 cents. All right, on to our next story. This is going to sound reminiscent of a story I've done earlier this week, but trust me, it is a new tale. Another British man has been arrested for attempting to smuggle, this time, 1 million pounds worth of cannabis from Thailand. That's right. Nathaniel Benson, a 44-year-old from Leeds, was arrested at Heathrow Airport on September 18th for allegedly attempting to smuggle 1 million British pounds worth of cannabis from Bangkok. Border Force officers found over 100 kilograms of cannabis in 5 suitcases, including one checked under a child's name, Tisk Tisk. Benson has been charged with importing Class B drugs and is set to appear in court on October 24th. A woman traveling with him was released on bail. The National Crime Agency, or NCA, was warned against drug smuggling and as cannabis seizures have surged this year. Boy, tell me about it. It seems like we've been doing this story pretty frequently throughout the year, but this one was the biggest one so far. 1 million pounds, 100 kilograms. That is insane. I don't know how you can think you're going to get away with that just coming directly through the airport. So fair warning, all you Brits, you can come to the land of smiles, enjoy your cannabis here, but you can't bring it back. And it's even crazier to me because there are, legal places in Europe. There's Spain. There's, Germany's legalizing it. Of course, you've got Amsterdam. You would think there would be easier avenues for smuggling than bringing it all the way from Thailand. But, Crime 101 people, just doing it directly through the airport, probably going to get caught. And in this case, who knows what kind of punishments this guy's going to be facing. One of his accomplices is out on bail. He is not. So we'll see what kind of punishment he'll be facing. But yeah, come on, England. Time to legalize it, I would say. If you're having this many people and this much demand for it, that these incentives are there, the war on drugs, in my book, it's over. Drugs won. Time to move on, everybody. And at least, with the more harmless drugs like cannabis, probably better to alleviate the prison systems than continuing to punish people for what's a relatively harmless substance. Anyways, Wu-Tang Life says, stupid is as stupid does. Benobo says, oh, bringing it back. Yeah, can't do that. Jeffrey says, yeah, these Brits know how close they live to the Netherlands. Absolutely. It seems like an absolutely crazy thing to do, to put yourself at that kind of risk. 100 kilograms is certainly felony status. He's going to be having a tough time going through the British legal system right now. QZ Tube says, of the last one, I choose Netflix and chill over cinema with snakes and rats. Agreed completely. And Bonobo says, just why? Isn't weed still legal in Thailand? It is. It's legal here. Not in England, though. So, you can't. Even though it's legal here, you can travel, by the way. In Thailand, you are allowed to travel with, I think, up to 5 grams of cannabis on domestic flights. So you can take them on flights, like if you're going from Bangkok to Phuket, that's no problem. But anything international, you are running some risks. Even scarier, too, because I imagine doing this trip from Bangkok to London, you're probably connecting in the Middle East, which is an even scarier place to be caught. So, fair warning to everybody, knock it off. That is not, it's crime. This crime is not worth the punishment, that's for sure. All right, sorry for a slurp. Need my water. Now, moving on, I got some visa news for you guys. We've talked about it a little bit, but there's some more clarifications on what's happening with the ETA that's coming up. So that's right, Thailand is introducing an electronic travel authorization for visa-free visitors in 2025. So Thailand will soon require travelers from the 93 visa-exempt countries, including Singapore, America, Australia, all the usual suspects. Now, they'll be required to apply for an electronic travel authorization, or ETA, before entry. The ETA is expected to launch between December 2024 and June 2025, and will be free of charge and aimed at enhancing border security and preventing illegal immigration. While travelers from Malaysia, Laos, and Cambodia are exempt, all others must apply online for single entry stays of up to 60 days with an optional 30-day extension. The ETA will streamline immigration with automated gates, but further details are still being finalized. So, okay, I don't think we have much to complain about anymore. The ETA, it's free, okay? It's going to alleviate the congestion that we have. Like, if you're coming through Thailand, you have probably seen some insane lines at the customs and immigration. While you're standing in your long old line for all foreigners, you're probably looking over at the electronic gates for the Thai citizens with a bit of jealousy because they just get to scan and go right through. That's going to be us soon. All you're going to have to do is go through their online portal, tell them you're coming in, on which dates you're coming in, don't have to pay anything, and you're still visa-free, and now you don't have to wait in those long lines. So tell me your thoughts, guys. What do you think about this new ETA policy that's going to be rolling out later this year or early next year? For me, I don't know. Seems like a good thing in my book. Mandalik says all countries should introduce an ETA. I've done it for Australia. It's so smooth. You just slap your passport on there and then you get right on through. This is one of those double-edged swords with technology. Obviously, facial recognition. A lot of people are worried about privacy. At the same time, it's making it a lot easier to actually process people safely and make sure that rules are being enforced properly. And as you'll see a little bit later in the show, when we're talking about some of these international criminals, it makes it easier to track them down. So, double-edged sword, but I think mostly technology is helping out in this situation. Wayne says ETA is a visa, travel authorization to come. It's visa-free still, right? You're just letting them know. I don't know. I'm no legal expert, but it seems like it'll be okay in my book. I've done it plenty of times for other countries. I think we don't need to complain too much. And obviously, Thailand needs some help in actually keeping track of who's coming into the country. Still one of the most heavily trafficked countries for travelers in the world. The Wu-Tang Life says you still have to take a picture and fingerprint at the entrance. Yeah, Singapore uses it too, says Core. That's true. So it's just like place your fingers here. I don't know. This is the price you pay to come and play in the land of smiles. Michael Baker says, do you need to print out anything for the ETA? I don't think so. Now, keep it handy on your email, on your phone, just in case an actual officer, because the whole point is you're not going to have to talk to an officer. You're just going to be able to scan your passport, scan your fingerprints, take the picture, and should be able to scoot on through without actually talking to any officer. So I don't think you'll need to print things out, but again, don't take my word for it. We're still waiting for final details to come out. So I'll keep you updated on that as we learn more. All right. Now, moving on to our last feel-good story of the day before I dive into the ASEAN section of the news. Some of you may have noticed and known that Texas Chicken is going to be shutting down in the land of smiles. But there is some good news. Now, McDonald's Thailand has invited Texas Chicken employees to apply for jobs amid the chain's closure. That's right, McDonald's Thailand is inviting employees from Texas Chicken, which is closing at the end of September, to apply for jobs at its nearly 230 branches nationwide. In a Facebook post on September 23rd, McDonald's expressed support for Texas Chicken staff, highlighting their skills and encouraging them to join the McDonald's team. The company is offering various opportunities to help those affected by the closure and to help them transition into new roles. This gesture aims to ease concerns about job security for Texas Chicken employees. Well, obviously, they have similar skill sets. They should be able to transition into jobs at McDonald's pretty successfully, I would imagine. But what are your thoughts on this, guys? Texas Chicken, an iconic brand here in Thailand. I've eaten there plenty of times. I'm sad to see them go. There's one just on my walk to work that I see almost every day. I wonder what it's going to become. But what are your thoughts on this one? I'm always a little shy on corporate praise and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is a nice gesture because a lot of people will be losing jobs. And hopefully McDonald's will be able to pick up the slack a little bit and give these people opportunities, especially in similar career paths. It's funny to me, after I lived in Australia, fast food and fast food workers, they get paid a lot more down there. And it's not like some temporary job. In America, I was raised thinking jobs at McDonald's are supposed to be temporary. They're supposed to be for kids. But tons of people end up being stuck there and going down the career paths that McDonald's has to offer. And it just sucks in America. We still don't pay very much. But in places like Australia, it's a legitimate career path. And I would like to see that in more places around the world because you'll get better quality service. The food will be better quality. Who doesn't love cheating and getting some McDonald's every once in a while? I did it last night, actually. But it's nice to see a little bit of outreach. And also remember, these McDonald's are usually franchisees, right? So it's a lot of local owners, too. We'll see what the fate of the Texas Chicken employees will look like. Hopefully, they can land on their feet somewhere. All right. Mandalik says, gesture earning goodwill. Yeah, again. Jeffrey says, kudos to McCraps for offering to help. Agreed. I don't know. it is a nice thought. We'll see if actually now I want to follow up on it and make sure that actually people have been hired. So I'll keep my eye on that story and see if we need to name and shame later on. But yeah, closure's coming at the end of the month. Time will tell. Let's see. What do we see? Oh, Wu-Tang Life said about the last one. Michael Baker, they will send you a QR code in your email to scan. You can just pull it up on your phone. No need to print it. There you go. Yeah, the whole world is running on QR codes now. All right, now that'll do it for our, Thailand section. Actually, our first story for the ASEAN section is a bit of Thailand as well, because we're talking about a very serious murder that happened here in Thailand earlier this year. We have some conclusions to that story. So hold on, let me get a sip. All right, I'm ready. A South Korean man who was wanted for a Pattaya murder has been arrested in Vietnam. We're globetrotting on this one, people. A South Korean man, Kim Hyung-won, wanted for a brutal murder in Pattaya, has been captured in Vietnam after months on the run. Now, Kim, 38, and two accomplices allegedly committed a gruesome killing on May 3rd, hiding the victim's body in a plastic container and dumping it in the lake covered in concrete. Now, after fleeing Thailand, Kim evaded capture by crossing into Laos and then Vietnam, moving between hotels to avoid detection. He was arrested in Hanoi after police became suspicious of his behavior. Kim has been extradited to South Korea, where he will face charges for the murder. Yeah, this was a crazy story. Like, when these bodies were found, everybody was like, what is going on here? This is some serious, like, movie crime stuff. And the man was on the lam for months. So a conclusion, finally. We will see what the trial will look like. I imagine South Korea does have the death penalty. So we will see if that will be applied in this case. And we'll see how the court case goes. His accomplices already captured Kim, the ringmaster, finally brought to justice. So interesting to see, like, the authorities from all of these different countries being able to cooperate. I was also interested to see that he was extradited to South Korea rather than to Thailand, where the crime was committed. You never know with these international manhunts where nationality is involved. The nationality of the victim is a question, and where the crime happened also. We'll see. But it is encouraging to see all of these different nations cooperating in this manhunt and finally capturing the man responsible for such a heinous crime. Yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments, people. What are we doing? So talking about other stories, Mandalik does say, please do like the show, guys. Like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. Love bringing you the news, and we can't do it without your eyeballs, so please do. We are pushing all the way up to 200,000. I want to cross that bridge within the next month or so. Steven has an interesting idea talking about the QR codes being ubiquitous. Surprised that some of the ladies of the night don't have QR codes tattooed on their bodies. Never say never. I think that might be you pay now, like, and just where would you do it? Lower back, something like that. You need to update. Need more than an hour. All right, enough of those jokes. Sorry. Chung Lee says, sorry for the bad news from Korea. It's okay. Like, bad people can be born anywhere. But happy to see. Like I said, it was the whole team of Koreans, Vietnamese, Thai people working together to bring this story to justice. So where there are bad people, there are good people. And happy to hear that justice will be served. All right, but anyways, I've got another horrible story for you guys. Then now we're heading over to Malaysia. Now, good news and bad news. Over 500 children have now been rescued in Malaysia from the expanding case against GISB. Now, Malaysian police have rescued an additional 187 children, bringing the total to 572 in a deepening investigation into Global Equine Services and Business, or GISB, for alleged child sexual abuse. The children, many under the age of 5, were reportedly subjected to severe abuse, including sodomy, physical punishment, and emotional trauma. Disgusting. GISB, linked to the banned Al-Arqam sect, is also being investigated for indoctrinating the children. Police have arrested 156 suspects, including GISB's CEO and top leaders, and have seized assets while probing money laundering activities. The case has shocked Malaysia, prompting calls for swift justice. I don't know what you call this other than a cult, right? This is many of the victims in this case, obviously children. They were children of the employees themselves. So all sorts of crazy abuse coming, sickening tale. Now, happy to hear that 500 and more than 500, just like insane numbers to me, that this many were able to be abused in this ring of absolutely disgusting people. More than almost 200 people have been arrested. Hundreds more have been rescued. What the fates of these children are, what the fates of these perpetrators are, is yet to be determined, but it is shocking the nation of Malaysia and shocking the world, really. So we're going to keep our eyes on this story as more children are rescued and more disgusting, filthy criminals are brought to justice in this case, where GISB, an extremely wealthy multinational company, is at the center of this. So interesting to me to see that so many people are being arrested. This is in stark contrast to what we've seen maybe in America with the Epstein case, and now we have the Diddy case coming and in the spotlight in America. Over in Malaysia, this is swift justice. Tons of people are being arrested and held. What punishments will be meted out is yet to be determined, but we still have not gotten to the end of this as more and more children are being discovered and rescued from the grips of these monsters. All right. Teddy Bear says money, money, money. Apparently money was able to create this ring in the first place, but it's not buying them out of justice. So that's good to know, at least for now. I'm going to knock on wood for that. Sing in My Car says there's a special place in hell for those types of people, in my opinion. I agree completely. It's all of these crimes, like abusing children, right? They're vulnerable. They don't know what's normal, right? So a lot of times they don't even know how to cry for help. Truly a sad story. We'll keep our eye on it to make sure the right things are being done by the Malaysian authorities. More countries involved in another international manhunt. A Taiwanese national has been arrested for the murder and extradited from the Philippines. A Taiwanese woman, Chen Yushuan, suspected of involvement in the kidnapping and murder of a Chinese national and a Chinese American in the Philippines, will be extradited to China after being arrested in South Korea. Chen, 44, was reportedly working in the Philippines and is linked to the deaths of both victims in June. Following her arrest, China urged the Philippines to take strict action against those responsible. Taiwan's Criminal Investigation Bureau, or CIB, is closely monitoring the situation and coordinating with the Foreign Ministry. Another weird one. So this one, we have a Taiwanese woman arrested in South Korea for crimes committed in the Philippines and being extradited to China. Amazing to see all of these different countries coordinating with each other to be able to bring this woman to justice. Now, she's suspected for involvement. Who knows where, when they start pulling on the thread, how this case will unravel. Interesting now, crime committed in the Philippines, but again, extradited to China. Not where she is a national, she's from Taiwan, but where the victims were nationals. Also, not to forget, one of them was Chinese American too. So, I don't know. This story is just unfolding. I was unable to find very much information about this one, as this one's pretty breaking. So we're going to find out more info, see exactly who was involved, how they were involved, and most importantly, how the police were able to track her down, because it seems like she was globetrotting, and again, doesn't seem like fleeing the country is really an option if you get into these sticky situations anymore, as the authorities are able to use all sorts of technology tools at their disposal to, track them down. So, kudos to the authorities in South Korea this time for being able to make the arrest and bring this person to justice. We'll see. All right. Now, our final story. We are a little lighter, but still a tale of corruption. Now, we're heading over to Singapore for this one, as a former Singaporean minister pleads guilty to graft charges. That's right. Former Singapore Transport Minister S. Iswaran has pleaded guilty to receiving gifts while in office, becoming the first minister in the country to face a graft trial. Interesting. Iswaran, 62 years old, was accused of accepting gifts, including tickets to Premier League soccer matches and the Singapore Formula One Grand Prix, as well as kickbacks from property tycoon Ong Bang Sung. Though Iswaran initially denied the charges, he now faces up to 2 years in jail for accepting gifts and up to 7 years for obstructing justice. Sentencing is set for October 3rd. Wow, as an American, I am just thrilled that somebody using their position of power to enrich themselves and accept gifts is facing some kind of justice. Now, the Supreme Court in America recently legalized like gift giving to them in the wake of making favorable decisions. So, yeah, it seems like in many countries in the West, we just have a completely legalized system of corruption. Refreshing to see. Now, of course, this is only the first case where somebody's pled guilty to graft in Singapore, which is pretty crazy to me, but it is a refreshing change of pace. We'll see if more will be coming forward, if more charges will be there, but what do you think? Is Singapore doing the right thing here, and what do you make of it? Do you think we'll see more heads roll? Only 2 years in prison, that's not that crazy of a punishment, but at the same time, it's nice to see some kind of consequences. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, everybody. All right, now, anyways, let me wrap up the show, then I'll get into the comments at the end, everybody. So that'll do it, guys. Please go to thetiger.com for more news updates throughout the day. You can also sign up, join the conversation at ASEANnow.com because, yeah, why not? You can keep the conversation going. Love having you guys here in the live chat, but it doesn't end there. Finally, I'm going to do a plug, shameless self-plug. I've got a big show this Friday, September 27th, we have the Bangkok Night Live show. I will be hosting a slew of international comics from all over the world at the Prince Theater Heritage Day. It's a classic venue, beautiful stage, curtains will be drawn, and we're going to have a good time. So if you are in Bangkok this Friday, please do come check it out. You can follow my page, Leaf Laugh Love Comedy, on Instagram to find all of the details about that. All right, but that'll do it, everybody. Now let me get into the comments.